What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve this simple and easy all-around fade along with the beard lineup. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave any questions, comments, or concerns in my comments. I do check my comments, and also be sure to check out any other videos posted on my page for any further help that you may need. Now let's get into it. I first start by combing the hair downwards in the same direction because it's easier to see what I'm doing when everything's neat and even. Then I take my trimmers to begin the guideline right at the tip of the end of the hairline, and as I go towards the back of the head, I'm dropping it just a tad bit just to fit the shape of his head and keep everything even. Now, this is the first step of the haircut and the most crucial step because this will determine the shape of the haircut. So you want to make sure you have the best shape possible. Everything's even all around the head. And to create our second guideline, I'm going to take the clipper with the lever open, going up an inch from that first guideline that we made all around the head, making sure we're being consistent. Be sure to go over the same area about 2 to 3 times just to make sure everything's the same length. Now I'm going to take the number 1 guard with the lever open, doing the exact same thing we just did with the last guideline, going up a whole inch from that last guideline we just made, making sure everything's consistent, going over the same spot 2 to 3 times. And later in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about this particular side that I'm currently working on, about the density and how the density can be different on each side of the head. But stay tuned towards the end of this video. I will be talking to you guys about that. Moving on, between the guidelines that we just made, there's a faint line that we're gonna take out using the half guard with the lever halfway. You're gonna flick at that line with the clipper. You can use the corner of your blade, but just flick at that line to fade it out, and just keep flicking at it, and you're gonna watch that line disappear using the half guard with the lever halfway. Moving on, we're going to use the number 2 guard with the lever closed just to debulk the top. So go ahead and take off all that bulk that you see at the top using the number 2 guard, making sure everything's even. So go over this spot just like any other guideline about 2 to 3 times to assure evenness and consistency. And at this point, I know you can see the fade coming together. Just a few more steps and the fade will be completed. Stay tuned. moving on, we're gonna jump back down to the 1.5 guard with the lever halfway. Now there's a line that was created as soon as we debulked the top. So we're just gonna flick at that line, we're gonna fade and soften up that line using the 1.5 guard with the lever halfway. Now moving on, we're gonna jump to the 1 guard with the lever halfway, flicking at that same line, but this time we're just gonna be a little bit lower than we were with the 1.5 guard so we can take out that line completely. Now remember earlier I was speaking about this particular side of his head being more dense than the other side, right? All it really means is that that particular side or that particular area of the head is gonna appear darker than the other side typically would. Now the way I see my fades is on a white, gray, and black color scale or a light, medium, and dark tone scale. Now, mind you, we debulked the top with the number 2 guard all around, but the number 2 guard didn't give us the same effect on this side like it did the other side. So meaning I'm gonna have to go back in with a slightly smaller guard, probably my 1.5 guard, and just attack that area right there, that particular area right there that's more density, just to lighten it up so it's even on the other side as well. So due to this side of the head being more dense, it didn't just affect the number 2 guard, it actually affected every guard that we use, as that arrow just pointed to that line, because that line isn't supposed to be there. But when it comes to detailing, of course I'm just gonna go back in and use smaller guards to flick at that line and soften that line up so it's the same tone, that same light tone as the other side of the head. And right here, I'm just using the clipper with no guard, putting my lever halfway and closing it, going up and down on a fade to take out that bottom line completely. After dealing with just so many clients and so many different hair types, you're gonna see that everyone here isn't the same. Everyone's hair don't grow the same direction on both sides of the head. One side might be more dense than the other. It's just so many factors that goes into just dealing with different clients that as a barber that's going to help you grow. You just have to pay attention to those little details because those matter and those are what changes the outcome of your haircut and the type of barber that you will be in the future. And if you take a look at this side of the head, I would say it has a regular density because every guard that I use cut to its true potential. You don't see any lines, and I barely had to go back and make any tweaks to this side compared to the other side. Now moving on to the beard, believe it or not, it's the exact same steps that we use to create the fade at the top. First, I'm going to start by putting the guideline right in the middle of his ear, and then I'm going to take the clipper with no guard with the lever open going down an inch. Moving on, I'm going to grab the 1 guard going down an inch as well. And then once we have that in, we're going to go back up to the half guard halfway to take out that middle line that we just created between those 2 guides. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and take out that top guideline by taking off all my guards and putting my lever halfway and closing it, just flicking at that line to soften it up. And lastly, I'm going to put the 1.5 guard with the lever halfway, just flicking at the bottom of the beard right there, as you can see, just to soften it up and blend it in real good to the top of that fade. And just like that, you have all your fades. Now it's time to go in and put the lines in there. The best advice I can give you guys is no pushbacks. For the beard, I know most clients like to keep their beards as high as possible. I go in with the razor because it's easier, and I know less hair can be cut off. I can control how much hair is being cut off with the razor instead of going in at the top of the line of the beard with the trimmer instead. So I like to go in with the razor. But at this point, y'all could just watch what I do. I didn't speed this part up for you guys, so just watch how I move, watch my clippers, and just study and really focus on what I'm doing. When it comes to cutting down that front taper, I started with the 1.5 guard at first, but I realized I needed it a little bit lower, so I switched it with the number 1 guard with the lever open. I will say that when it came to cutting down the front taper, as you guys can see, I'm combing it at a certain angle. I'm cutting at a certain angle as well, because that's the direction that the hair lays and grows. So I want to make sure that to assure evenness, I have to go with the grain of the direction of the hair is growing. And I also peeped his vertical bars were low-key kind of light. So instead of going in with the clipper, again, to control how much hair I cut off, I went in with the razor and just went in putting my vertical bars in first, and then I did the front of his line up and connected them. When it comes to applying enhancements, I always go for the natural look possible, meaning I try not to drown my client's hairline in black spray or, just overdo the black spray. It's not supposed to cover up any mistakes. It's supposed to still look natural, still look like, it's growing out of his head. I don't like that artificial look that some barbers use on their clients. I like to keep that natural look. I feel like that's what my clients come to me for as well, because some barbers, they like to overdo the black spray, and most clients might not like that. So I can say that I know for sure my clients appreciate that natural look of my enhancements application. And there we have it, guys. Another step-by-step tutorial completed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, like I said in the beginning, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. And be sure to leave any questions, comments, or concerns in my comments below. And be sure to catch me in the next video. See you guys soon.